Launching a podcast is exciting, but here's the truth. A great podcast doesn't automatically mean great results. If you don't promote your show effectively, it's like throwing a party and forgetting to send out the invitations. Crazy, right? So in today's video, I'm going to share strategies you need to successfully promote your podcast and reach your ideal audience. Whether you're about to launch your first episode or you want to relaunch your podcast with a fresh plan, these tips will help you get noticed, gain traction, and grow your followers. I'm Chapman, and I help entrepreneurs launch and grow podcasts that captivate their audience and build their business. Over the years, I've worked with business owners in all niches to not just create incredible podcasts, but also ensure their shows get heard. Today, I'm sharing my top strategies for promoting your podcast, strategies that you can start using right now to build momentum and grow your audience. But before we dive in, the cart closes tomorrow for my Podcast Launch Simplified course. This course takes the overwhelm out of launching and promoting your podcast into my proven step-by-step system to launch your podcast. So if you're ready to launch your podcast and set it up for success, click the link in the description to learn more. But you have to be quick. The doors are closing and they won't be reopening till later this spring. So as I've mentioned before, one of the biggest mistakes I see podcasters make is waiting until launch day to start promoting their podcast. A successful launch starts weeks and sometimes even months before your first episode goes live. So here are a few ways to build excitement early on in your launch process. First, share behind the scenes content. You can post videos, photos of your recording setup, sneak peeks of your content, or even bloopers to give your audience a taste of what's coming. In my Podcast Launch Simplified course, you'll get a calendar to help you promote your upcoming podcast launch, and it's done over 2 weeks. Number 2, announce your podcast launch date on social media, and you can create a countdown sticker on Instagram and keep reminding your audience as the date approaches. Third, publish a trailer episode. A trailer is a short episode that introduces your podcast, share what's it about, and then get your listeners excited. Plus, it helps you get your show indexed on platforms like Apple and Spotify. So you want to encourage your audience to listen to your trailer, then share the trailer with their friends who might enjoy your show. So the earlier you can create excitement, the better your chances of a successful launch. In my Podcast Launch Simplified course, I have an entire module dedicated to marketing your new podcast so you don't launch to crickets. That's one of the biggest fears I see. Your existing network is one of the most valuable tools you have for promoting your podcast. Your friends, family, coworkers, networking groups, and clients already know and support you, so those are the ones you want to reach out to help you launch your new podcast. Here's how to maximize their support. You can send a personalized email letting them know about your podcast launch. In it, you want to include direct links so they can subscribe and listen, and then ask them to leave a review if they can. Post an announcement on your personal social media channels. Share why you started the podcast and what you hope your listeners will gain from it. If you have an email list, send a dedicated email about your launch. You can include a teaser or a clip from your first episode to help hook their interest. Make it as easy as possible for your networks to share your podcast, so you can provide pre-written captions or graphics that they can use to help you spread the word. Collaboration is a great way to expand your reach and tap into new audiences. So here's some ideas for collaborating. You can appear as a guest on other podcasts in your niche. This allows you to share your expertise and introduce your show to an already engaged audience. Have one of your first 3 episodes be a guest who already has their own following, and then encourage them to share the episode with their audience once it's live. You can partner with complementary brands or businesses to co-promote your podcast. So for example, if your podcast is about wellness, team up with a fitness brand to reach their audience. You can always create shareable assets for your guests or collaborators, like social media graphics, reels, audiograms. This makes it easy for them to help promote your episode. Use social media to promote your podcast. You can share short, engaging clips from your episodes. Make sure you add captions or subtitles to make them accessible and attention-grabbing. Don't forget the captions. Most people, myself included, watch stories with our volume off. So if you don't have captions, I'm not watching. Number 2, use relevant hashtags to reach new audiences. If your podcast is about business, try hashtags like business podcast or entrepreneur tips, hashtags like that. Number 3, post consistently on platforms where your audience spends time. So whether that's Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, show up regularly to keep your podcast top of mind. Don't just post to post. Engage with your audience, reply to comments, ask questions, and encourage your followers to share their favorite episodes. And then if you really want to see your podcast succeed, then create a community around your podcast. Community around podcasts in 2025 is going to be huge. So go beyond social media when promoting your episode. Repurposing your content is a great way to expand your reach and make the most out of your episodes. Here are a few ways to repurpose your podcast content. Turn your transcripts into blog posts for your website. This boosts your SEO and gives your audience another way to engage with your content. You can create quote cards using memorable lines or hooks from your episodes. Those also work really well on platforms like Pinterest and Instagram. Use highlights or sound bites from your episodes to create short form videos for TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels. If you are recording video when recording your podcast, you can repurpose the video onto YouTube. Cross promote your podcast on other content platforms like your email newsletter or your YouTube channel. Always include a call to action directing people to your podcast. Giveaways are a fun and effective way to promote your podcast and encourage engagement. So here's how to run a successful giveaway. Offer a prize that resonates with your audience. So for example, if your podcast is about productivity, you might give away a planner. I personally love like a real planner that's paper, or a short coaching session. And then set your entry rules. So they could be to like and subscribe to your podcast, leave a review, and then screenshotting it and sharing it on social media. You can use a branded hashtag to track the entries and generate excitement. And here's a pro tip. Announce the winner during an episode to encourage listeners to tune in and then participate in future giveaways. Okay, let's quickly recap the top strategies for promoting your podcast. We're going to build excitement before you launch with things like teasers, trailers, and countdown stickers on social media. 2, leverage your existing network to spread the word. 3, collaborate with others to reach new audiences, like guesting on podcasts. 4, optimize your social media presence with great content. 5, repurpose your podcast episodes to reach a wider audience. And then 6, use giveaways to encourage engagement and get those shares, likes, screenshots, all the things. So with these strategies, you'll be able to promote your podcast effectively and set your show up for long-term growth and success. And don't forget, the card is open for my Podcast Launch Simplify course. I'm so excited. This course gives you everything you need to not only launch your podcast, but also promote it like a pro. You can click the link in the description below to learn more and join today. I'd love to see you inside. And don't forget, the doors to Podcast Launch Simplify close tomorrow, the 23rd, and they won't reopen until later this spring. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more podcasting tips, and hit the subscribe button so you never miss an update. And if there's something you want me to cover, send me a DM on Instagram at Liz_Chapman_podcast manager, or leave a comment below, and I'll see you in the next video.